Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we got people waiting. We got people waiting. It's Diego and the beautiful Karina, my lovely prometida, here 10,300 feet plus in the Andes Mountains in Bogotá, Colombia, ready to do a live stream to answer your questions about K1 visas. Now, I know this process is not easy. It's not easy, but you can do it. And we're going to pull you over the finish line and help you get through this process. Okay? I've got I got a cup, a bit of a left of a Coca-Cola, so I'm ready to go. I just need some questions. We waited what 19 months for our K1 visa. We had our visa interview done already, and here come the questions from our beautiful people out there waiting for me to answer them about the K1 visa. Now, Francois Livingston. Good evening, Diego and Karina. How are you both feeling? We are getting over the Bogota flu. I'm getting over mountain sickness. I'm getting over dental surgery on my front teeth. But other than that, we are doing fantastic. It's another day in Bogota, Colombia, in the K1 visa process. And we are feeling good, Francois. We are good. Teja Sweeney. Hi, Diego. What's going on, Teja Sweeney? Miguel. Hi, Diego. And Karina, congrats on the interview. Yeah, we passed. Well, I did. Karina passed the scary visa interview, and the immigration officer tried to trick her. No, he didn't try to trick her, but she did good. She did. She survived her 10 minutes in the interrogation. And Mr. Najas, hi Diego and Karina. Mr. Najas, how are you? How's your family? And Jeff Mantalk, hello Diego. What's going on, Jeff? Now the mosquito guy, you're on early. He said, Diego, hello, my friend. Can you tell me where can I find the data from USCIS that shows what month they're currently reviewing in regards to the I-129F application? Right here on this channel. You can get the data right here because I can't, off the top of my head, I can't write it out on the data in the live stream. But they're looking at January of 2023, soon February. Miguel, I got my NOA2 last Wednesday. My miércoles pasado aprobado para visa. It's good. Gurvinda Saab. Hello, Diego. Congratulations. I have a question on the I-130. Okay. Do I need to mention if I have done joint sponsor for someone in past? Yes, you do. In 2020, let me know. Yes, you must notify immigration. If you have been a joint sponsor in the past, you must include that information in your K1 visa package. Because that affects your family size. Okay. Mac Ludmead, Leguer, Diego, last week on the 15th, my I-129 got approved. Your I-129F got approved. Good. Good job. High five. K Messenger. Hello, Karina and Diego. Hope you are feeling much better. Greetings from Tlaxcala, Mexico. We're doing much better. It's raining. It's cold. We're up in the mountains, but we got internet. We got lights, and we're over our Bogota crud. I think. I think tomorrow I should be able to be eating like I should be eating, so Karina can get back to cooking them great Colombian and Venezuelan dinners and lunches. Gurvinda Saab, I-134, yes. Gurvinda Saab, if you were a joint sponsor in the past, okay, and those people are in the United States of America on green cards, they're your dependents. And you got to include them on the I-134. The only way they're not your dependents is if they've been working for 10 years, or they went back to their home country, or they died and went to heaven. That's the only time you can exclude them from the I-134. This is my second K1 visa. I got approved. My first K1 visa, they went home to their home country. So they're not my dependents. Okay, so I didn't include them on my I-134. Excuse me. But if they stayed in the United States on a green card, then they would be my dependents. And I would have had to include them on the I-134. Remember, guys, when you sponsor somebody on a K-1 visa or a CR-1 visa or whatever, if it doesn't work out, they're still your dependents. So if you apply for a second K-1 visa and those folks you sponsored in the past are still in the United States on a green card, they're your dependents and you got to include them on the I-134. Teja Sweeney, so my name was wrong on my fiance's passport. What is your name doing in your fiance's passport? Your fiance's passport should be your fiance's name, not your name. Under an annotation, we emailed the embassy and they said to send in the passport again for reprinting. We are good, right? Well, I don't know what your name is doing in your fiance's passport, because your name should be on your passport and your fiance's name should be on the fiance's passport. So I don't understand what happened there. But if you have to fix a name in the passport and do a reprint, are you talking about in the K-1 visa? The name was incorrect on the K-1 visa. They just have to reprint it. Then you're good to go. Tejas Linney's World. How long do they take to give you an answer on a 221G? Well, you're on hold from the 30th of October. Well, we're on a 221G because we got to get an Interpol police certificate. As soon as we get the Interpol police certificate, I'll upload it to the SEAC system. The embassy will look at it and then print her K-1 visa. And then we're out of here and we're going to Florida. We're in a hold just like you. So what is the reason that you are in a 221G hold? What's the reason? Miguel is talking to McLudme. Caldidan Clasian. Hello, Diego. Me and my fiance don't have a ring. What are we going to say when they ask us, when did you get engaged? Go buy a ring. Like tomorrow. Buy a ring. Take a picture of it. Okay. And get it to your beneficiary. When did you get engaged? What was your engagement date? Immigration's going to want to know that. If there was a person that couldn't prove an engagement and their visa was put on hold for like 2 months until they could come up with an engagement. You got to be engaged to have a fiance visa. This K-1 visa is a fiance visa. It means that you have met somebody in a foreign country, Mr. Sponsor, Miss Sponsor. You want to marry that person. You're engaged to that person. You had a little engagement ceremony. You bought her an engagement ring, and you are now connected and joined at the hip. And all you're waiting for is the K-1 visa to get approved so you can come to the United States and get married. If you don't have an engagement ring, you better buy one. When I got engaged to Karina, I took a picture of the ring. I got a copy of the receipt, and I included it in the K-1 visa package. Hey, Mr. Immigration Officer at USCIS in Service Center, California, look right here. Here is my engagement ring I bought my beautiful Karina. I put it on her finger and said, you're mine. You belong to me. You're my future wife. Well, she doesn't belong to me, but she's my prometida, right? You got to put it in your K-1 visa package. If immigration doesn't see an engagement, they don't think your relationship is real. There could be problems. Let me see here. I don't want to miss anybody. Okay, let me see. I got a page down. Marcel MP. Diego and Karina, congratulations. I'm very, very happy for you. Well, thanks. We appreciate that, Marcel. And Arsenal forever. What about Chelsea forever? How about Sheffield United? Manchester United? They good? Luton. Portsmouth. How about Portsmouth? Pompey Football Club. How about that? Arsenal forever. Diego, how are you both? We are good. I can actually talk. I couldn't talk for a week at least because of this Bogotá flu and then the mountain sickness and then my 2 front teeth. My dentist made me 2 new front teeth temporary until he gets me 2 new ones because I had 2 infections in my mouth. So it's been a rough 2 weeks. But that's not my sob story, okay? I don't ever put out pity parties. There's no pity parties here. Arsenal Forever. The appointment confirmation letter says DS260. Disregard that. It's not true. Even though the dashboard says K1 visa, we attached the DS160. That's correct. Confirmation number. That's correct. You are in a K1 visa. You're in a fiancé visa. Let's call it the engagement visa. How about that? You are in an engagement visa to your prometida. And you fill out a DS160 and you print it. And that's your, and then on the DS160 confirmation page, there's a number on there that you're going to use when you go to pay your visa fee. You're going to use the case number and the confirmation number on the DS160. Immigration send out this bogus email about the DS260 and that we've scheduled your visa interview. It's all bogus. You fill out a fiance visa is DS160. You are good if you did a DS160. Angel Tate, Diego, did you do the interview with Karina or did she go alone? I had mountain sickness the night before her visa interview. I was so sick, I had to stand by this window to breathe because my blood couldn't process oxygen properly. So I was just sick. So Karina Karina at 2 o'clock in the morning was trying to see how I'm doing. And then she gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning and goes to the K1 visa interview in Bogotá, Colombia, passes it with flying colors. Then they tell her we need an Interpol certificate. And she's like, what the heck is an Interpol certificate? Where on the planet does it say I got to have an Interpol certificate? Where? They said, well, right here, you need it. Oh, this is your checklist. Why don't you tell us this before our visa interview? So she got her visa approved. And they filled out a 221G and said, get us the Interpol certificate and we'll put your visa in your passport. So Karina came back rushing home to see how I'm doing because I'm sick with the mountain fever. She checks on me. I'm good. Then she jumps on the laptop and processes the Interpol certificate. And then she calls the lady at Interpol and says, what's the process? And she said, well, it's going to take maybe 2 weeks to get this certificate. Okay, no big deal. I got a dental appointment December 1st. I got a 3-month visa to be in Bogota, so my visa's good. And so everything's good. But we were expecting everything to be done at the visa interview. But no, immigration wanted a Interpol certificate. I never heard of such a thing. But I have now. And why did we need an Interpol certificate? Well, because Karina is from Venezuela, and she's lived in Colombia for 5 years. So the Colombian police certificate wasn't sufficient. They had her Venezuelan police certificate, check, that's good. Colombian police certificate, no, it's not sufficient. They drew a big circle around the address on the Colombian police certificate, said, you got to go here and get an Interpol certificate. She went, what the heck is that? Well, you lived in Colombia for 5 years. We got to do an Interpol check. Karina's like, okay, what do I got to do? Go to this website, send them an email. And she went to the website. She sent them an email. And within 2 hours, they responded. So we're just waiting on them now. 2 weeks, probably. No big deal. So Angel, no, I wasn't able to go to the visa interview because I was laid out sick, down for the count. And that's hard to do for a retired Navy guy. It's hard for me to get sick. I am never sick. Well, only when I'm in Bogota, that's when I get my inferma. Ted, hi Diego, I have a question. On the I-134, do I put my son as a dependent on my part of the form? I know I will put her daughter under beneficiary, but do I put my son? You put your son is a dependent. You put him under your name. So on the I-134, it says person sponsoring beneficiary. That's you, Ted. You write your full name, and then under there, you're going to write your dependent's name, and the number of dependents is going to be 1. Okay, you got that? So immigration are trying to get a head count. So it's going to be you and your dependent son, right? And then you go to your beneficiaries page. You're going to write your beneficiary's name and her dependent under the K2. So that's a total family size of 4. That's all immigration is trying to figure out. Yes, you must include your son as your dependent on your part of the form. Your beneficiary must not sign that I-134. Don't sign it, Miss Beneficiary. This is the responsibility of the sponsor. Let me see. Diorain Gabrielle. Congratulations, Mr. Diego and Karina. So happy for both of you. Well, thank you there, Dorian. Rosley. Diego, once the I-129F is approved, what is the minimum time you have heard from the MVC process? 60 days is the quickest I've seen. Okay, my technical expert here is going to page down. There we go. Man, sorry guys, I'm coughing. Okay. Miguel, any tips for filling out the DS-160? Yes. Fill it out slowly. Do not rush the DS-160. When you get to the DS-160, take your time. You know, don't rush it. It's not like you're in high school and you're trying to beat the other kid next to you to beat him to get your exam finished first. Okay? This isn't high school stuff. Take your time with the DS-160. That's my biggest tip. Okay? Do not submit it to the embassy until you have double checked it twice. Another tip is to save each page as you go. So when you when you go through the DS-160, at the bottom it's going to say save. Save the form. Then go to the next page. When you fill out that page, save the form. That way, when you time out, which is going to happen, you're going to time out and everything's going to be wiped out. And you're going to get mad and you're going to go, man, log back in, and you're going to start off where you left off on the save. So those are the two tips right there. Okay? And don't tell any stories. Okay? Don't make up anything on the DS-160. Do not lie to the embassy. If you help your beneficiary filling out the DS-160, tell the embassy at the end you helped her. Okay? Because they're going to know. Never lie to immigration. Never. That's the biggest way to get blocked from entering the United States permanently, if you lie to them. Let me see here. I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. Linanca Lopez. Hello, Diego. Congratulations. Well, thank you. They also approved my K1 visa in Bogotá. That's good. Do you know how I can track my passport and where I can get my track number? When you completed your visa interview, when you did your scheduling of your visa interview and your biometrics, you had to click on a place to pick up your visa, right? It's on Gold, isn't it Gold Street or Gold Avenue or something like that in Bogotá? When your visa is ready, you're going to get an email from the embassy telling you to go pick it up at that location that you put for Bogotá. Now, if you live in Medellin, okay, no problem. It sucks for you to have to come to Bogotá to do all this, but there's an address in Medellin where you can pick up your passport. But most people are in Bogotá. When you completed your visa interview scheduling and your biometrics, they asked you, where do you want to pick up your visa? And then you put in this location. And they said, what name do you want to put on that visa passport for the person to pick up? Who are you going to authorize to pick up that K1 visa? I put Karina's name. It's Karina's visa. I put her name. So when this 221G gets cleared up, which won't take probably 2 or 3 weeks, so we're going to be here, you know, then they will send Karina an email and say, go pick up your passport at this address in Gold Street. I think it's what it is. Let's see here. So where do you track it? You don't track it. You sit and wait for the email from the embassy telling you to go get it. There's no tracking of this. Angel Take Diego, your delay is confirmation that you should marry in 12/31/2023. Okay, Angel. No problem. New Year's Eve, right? That would be a good day, actually. A new year for 2024. You know, Karina as my wife. Although we considered each other married already. I mean, we've been together for so long. Let me see. History Blitz, howdy, filed I-485 end of August. So that's your adjustment of status for the green card. Oh, you got the green card in November. Wowza, thanks for your help. Good job, History Blitz. So you got your green card already. You filed for it end of August. So let's say September, October, November, December. So 3 months. You got your green card in 3 months. 3 meses para Terete Cuverli. Boy, it's very quick. And we helped you, right? We helped you with the process. We told you what to do in a kind way. And you listened. Jeff McCoy, hello, Diego and Karina. If you get denied on an expedite request, does it make the process longer? No, Jeff McCoy. It means immigration said, you ain't going to jump the line. You're going to wait in line with everybody else, and the process will continue. That's what an expedite. People, I'm not saying in your case, okay, but people use expedite excuses. Oh, I got to expedite my case. Why? Because you're not patient. You want to jump in front of everybody else. Get in line and wait your turn. And if you file an expedite, guess what? 9 times out of 10, immigration is going to say, nope, denied, get in line. That's what it is. Unless you are in the military and you're fixing to deploy, okay, U.S. military fixing to deploy, immigration will look at that and probably approve your expedite, okay? If you have a serious medical emergency that needs to be tended to, immigration probably may or may not expedite your case. But immigration don't like expedites because it slows down their processing. They're like, another expedite. What, this one? My cat has kittens, and I want to make sure we bring the cat and the kittens to the United States, which is going to require more paperwork. Can I expedite my case? No. My prometida is pregnant. She's going to have twins. Can we expedite the case? No. Immigration don't care if your prometida is pregnant. They're happy. They will send congratulations to you, but they're not going to speed up your K-1 visa. Okay? Everybody gets in line. It's like you're in line to go to Disney World, but there's no fast pass. Okay? No, it will not extend, Jeff McCoy, it will not extend the process for you. It won't slow it down. You're just going to be in the same wait as everybody else. Mohammed, hey Diego, does the joint sponsor fill out I-134 different way or the same way as the petitioner? Mohammed, the joint sponsor will fill out the I-134 exactly the same way as the petitioner fills out the I-134, except that it's going to be different names and different income and different dependents. Okay? That's the only thing that's going to change. Arsenal forever. Yes, I filled out the DS-160. Okay. Paid the visa fee. Good. Set up the passport delivery address. Perfect. You got this. Got the OFC interview date. Very good. The appointment confirmation has DS-260, but the code is for DS-160. Diego the Great Ross. Well, I'm just an old retired Navy guy that's been through this K-1 visa process and a spousal visa process twice. And this is my last time because Karina is my eternidad prometida. I'm not going to do this again. The only thing that we got left to do is pick up her passport and then do the adjustment of status. And I'm going to go guide you through the adjustment of status. Let me see. Let me see here. Isaac, got the background check tomorrow. Brazil. Okay, Rio de Janeiro. Very good. Ross Lee, is there a tracking method for the NVC process? Yeah, there is, but it's irrelevant. Whatever the NVC whatever they put out on their website isn't true. Or I should say it a different way. Isn't accurate. Everybody wants to track their case. Why can't you guys just wait? NOA 1, you got it. Now wait for NOA 2. There it is. You got it. Now wait for the NVC case number. You got it. Then wait for the in transit. There it is. Then wait for the ready status. There it is. Then you get the packet 3, packet 4. There it is. Then you schedule the visa interview. Pay the visa fees. Do the DS-160. You know, quit. I did not check my phone. Maybe I checked my phone probably 6 times in 19 months for the status. Isaac Madreno got the background check. Gotcha. Bud Garcia. Hello, hello. Hope you both are doing well from West Washington State. Yeah, we're good. What is the MVC purpose? What is the purpose of the MVC? Oh, KJB and KJB said I missed your question. Hold on a second. Let's find the question from KJB. I don't see it. Okay, KJB. Should they be included as a dependent if they are now U.S. citizen? Yes. If you are responsible for your kids, whether they're from Singapore, Colombia, or the United States, they're your dependents. KGB, they're your responsibility, and you got to include them as a household member. Let me see. Let me get back to that question on the MVC. What is the MVC? The National Visa Center is a clearinghouse. The USCIS Service Center in California approves your K-1 visa and mails you an NOA-2 letter. Within 3 months, 2 or 3 months, USCIS will send your approved visa package to the National Visa Center. The National Visa Center will then review that package to make sure the USCIS didn't miss anything. If USCIS missed something, NVC sends it back to USCIS and says, you need to check this out. And USCIS says, okay, there's nothing wrong here. They send it back to the NVC, and NVC says, you're good to go. The NVC will then create a case number and or an invoice number and mail your K-1 visa package to the embassy. In Karina's case, they mailed it to Bogotá. Bogotá got the exact K-1 visa package that I put together almost 2 years ago. They got it, and they looked through it, and they knew our relationship was real and everything was good, and they already knew. They just looked at the DS-160, and they approved her visa before she even showed up for the interview. But you got to do the interview. It's mandatory. Congressional law. So the MVC's job is to check the visa over to make sure there's no mistakes, and if there's no mistakes, they assign a case number, then mail it to the embassy. That's it. Much easier than a spousal visa, right? Let's see here. Did that answer your question? What is the NVC? National Visa Center, New Hampshire. It's in New Hampshire. Don't track. There's no way to. Don't waste your time tracking the MVC process. You're going to get a headache, guys. Don't count days. Don't track anything. Just wait. If everybody in the K-1 visa process stopped tracking everything and stopped sending in the, where's my visa? Where's my visa to USCIS? The process would go by much quicker for everybody else. So KJB, did I answer your question? Zach Webster, can Bangladesh people apply for this visa? Yes. Anybody in the world who falls in love with an American citizen, who wants to marry an American citizen, okay, as long as they qualify, as long as the sponsor qualifies, can get the K-1 visa. But a citizen of Bangladesh cannot apply for the K-1 visa. An American citizen sponsor has to be the one to apply for the visa from the United States. And the person must live and work and be domiciled in the United States. And the job must be in the United States. Let's suppose you're an American citizen and you're working in Saudi Arabia and you don't have a domicile in the United States. You've been working in Saudi Arabia for 10 years. You're an American and you meet a beautiful Saudi lady and you want to get married. You're not qualified. You're not qualified for the visa. The American citizen would have to return back to the United States, get a house in the United States, get a job in the United States, and be domiciled in the United States. That's how you qualify. So if you're in Bangladesh, if you have a sponsor who is an American citizen living and working in the USA, and you guys are in love, apply for the visa. And we got a super chat here from Mabrielle Entertainment. Miss Betty. Miss Betty, thank you for that super chat, young lady. You didn't have to do that. We appreciate it, though. As soon as I get over this Bogotá crud that's in my chest, and I'm not dripping it out of my nose, I'm taking Karina out to these great steak places to eat. You know, Denise Jefferson, Chopper Harley, Brian and Jacqueline, all you guys have really. We're going to eat good while we're wrapping up this visa. Thank you, Miss Betty, for that. Let me see here. I'm sorry for my coughing, guys, but don't worry, you're not going to catch it through the camera. Let me see. K Messenger. My fiance is a Filipina, okay, living in Mexico. No problem. With me. She did work for 3 years in Japan. No worries. Do you feel it's prudent to get the Interpol report as well? Let me see here. So she's a Filipino living in Mexico. So you're going to need a Filipino police certificate. You're going to need a Mexican police certificate, and you're going to need a Japanese police certificate. But if she's been living in Mexico for longer than 6 months, I would get the Interpol certificate too, as precaution, so you don't get hit with what we got hit with by surprise. I know this K1 visa process by the back of my hand, guys. I could go work at the embassy, I could go work at USCIS, NBC, and I could be processing visas. I have never once heard of an Interpol certificate. Okay? So they make stuff up as they go along. And let me see, we got a super chat from Jeff Mantop. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Jeff. So, K Messenger, you need to get the Filipino police certificate. You need to get the Mexico police certificate. You need to get the Japanese police certificate. And I would recommend getting the Interpol police certificate for Mexico. Okay? I would strongly recommend it and include it when you go to the visa embassy interview, when you go to the scary face-to-face. Bring that with you. It might save you 2 or 3 weeks of headache. You know, to me, it's not. We got a 2 or 3 week block. Well, it's not a block. It's just a wait. But okay, Mr. Embassy guy, no problem. You ain't going to stress us out. Because I got dental work to get done here in Bogotá anyway. And Karina was she was worried I was going to have to fly to Miami to get to sea level because of the mountain sickness. 2 o'clock in the morning, she's like looking on her phone trying to book a flight to Miami. I said, no, your visa interview's in 3 hours, 4 hours. Worry about that. I just can't go with you. I wanted to go with her. But she passed it. She did good. She doesn't need me holding her hand. She's strong. Karina's strong. Fuerte. and Arsenal forever. So should I worry about it even if it says DS260? No, immigration know what it is. Don't worry about it. No, you're good. I had the same thing happen to me. DS260. I'm like, okay, whatever. It's a DS160. Okay? Isaac Medrano. Just to confirm, we only need DS160 and passport for background check. That's correct. You go to the biometrics, they're going to say, where's your passport? Where's your DS160? There it is. That's it. For everybody. So if you got a K1 and 2 K2s, you're going to need 3 passports and 3 DS160s, and the DS160s need to be tucked inside each passport. Isaac Medrano. Anything else? It's raining. It's cold. I'm hungry. And our cat's asleep. Arsenal forever. Thank you, Diego. We wait eagerly for you to go live every week. I'm here for you guys. I took a week off because I couldn't talk. Let me see. Kinza Zane. Hi, Diego. How do I update the letter of intent? Do I keep the same info that I had previously, or do I put new info? Who do I address the letter to? Do they require 2 letters of intent? Okay, let me go over it. You need 2 new letters of intent to get married. Okay. What do you put in it? Well, what have you done since the first letter of intent to get married? How many trips have you made to visit your beneficiary? Have you made 2 more trips, 3 more trips? I made 4 trips. So on my second letter of intent to get married, I put, I've been to Colombia 4 times And we're still madly in love. We're still getting married on the beach by Captain Bill in Navarre, in Santa Rosa County. I'm an American citizen. I'm still legally free and able to marry Karina. And I promised to do so in 90 days. And Karina wrote, I'm a Venezuelan living in Colombia as a legal resident. I am single, and I'm going to marry Diego in 90 days when I arrive in the United States. Those statements have to be in the letters of intent to be married, to get married. Those statements are mandatory. You're an American citizen or a Venezuelan. You are legally free and able to marry. I'm divorced. Karina's single. And you promise to do so within 90 days. Those three things must be in the letters of intent. And you address it to the U.S. Embassy. When you fill out the letter of intent to get married, when you file your K-1 visa, both of you have to write a letter of intent. The sponsor and the beneficiary. Both of you must write a strong, loving, caring letter, promising to do the things I just mentioned. And you address it to USCIS, Louisville, Texas. Okay? Then, when you write your second updated letters of intent to get married, you address it to the U.S. Embassy. U.S. Embassy, Bogotá, Colombia, Immigration Division. It's easy, guys. And you don't have to translate documents into English anymore at the U.S. Embassy in Bogotá. So if your face-to-face visa interview is at the U.S. Embassy in Bogotá, Colombia, immigration do not need translated documents, okay? I translated Karina's birth certificate, her police certificates, everything. Police and birth certificates were translated. And they took out the translations and tossed them. They said, we don't need these. We speak Spanish here. We speak English here. So good news. I'm just saving you $20, $25 per translation if you're in it, if you're going to Bogotá. Do they require letters of intent for each person? Yes. Yes, they do. Now, they may not ask for them, so you may go to all this trouble and write them up, and then you get your face-to-face visa interview, and they don't ask for the letters of intent to get married, the new ones. Don't worry, because the moment the person doesn't do those two letters, then they're going to ask for them. That's how Murphy's Law works, right? Let me see. Miss Betty. Wait a second here. Miss Betty. Hi, Diego and Karina. Miss Betty, nice to see you. Thank you for that super chat, by the way. KGB, I co-sponsored some family members, but they are now U.S. citizens. Not what? If they're U.S. citizens, you don't have to include them on the I-134. If you sponsored somebody in the past, brought them to America, and right now they are U.S. citizens, they are no longer your financial responsibility. And you do not have to include them on the I-134. Okay, you got it? You got that, right? KGB? Okay. Miss Betty, my fiance did his interview on November 25th, but he didn't receive his documents. Well, they should have, what did they keep his passport? November 25th. What's today? What day is it today? I don't even know what day it is. If they kept his passport, then you're just waiting on the visas to get stamped. Bud Garcia. Let me see. What is Bud saying here? So what I'm understanding, it is just a holding place for the packet until the embassy. That's it. If your K-1 visa is at the NVC and they send you a case number, it's going to sit at the NVC until the embassy gets freed up. Like in July of 2023, the U.S. Embassy in Bogotá, Colombia stopped taking K-1 visas. They were busy. They were overwhelmed. So in July, the NVC stopped sending K-1 visas to Bogotá. August 1st, they started the visa processing again. So folks in July got kind of messed up. They didn't get messed up. They just put on hold for a month. So it added a month of time to their visa processing because the embassy was busy. So the NVC will hold the visa on a shelf, getting dusty, until the embassy's free. The embassy gets freed up, and NVC says, hey, you good? Can I send you a K-1 visa package to Bogotá? Yeah, we're good. Boom, it goes on the airplane. Janiela James, Diego, I didn't hear you respond to my statement. I got distracted. Repeat it, please. Janiela, please repeat it. And Miss Betty, thanks for the super chat. Jeff Mantalk, thank you for that super chat. Miss Betty, oh no, wait a second. Bud Garcia, and can the embassy deny cases? Bud Garcia, there's only two places a K1 visa can be denied and blocked. USCIS at Service Center and at the US Embassy. That's it. Okay? That's it. The NVC cannot deny K1 visas. The NVC is a storage place. It's a warehouse waiting to mail them out to the embassies. The embassy officer makes the decision on whether to approve or deny the visa. JD, hi Diego, adjustment of status sent today, when to expect NOA1. The adjustment of status is the application for the green card. It's got nothing to do with an NOA1 or an NOA2. If you filed your adjustment of status, that means you're waiting for the green card. You're not going to get an NOA1 letter. You're not going to get an NOA2 letter. You're going to get a green card in the mail or an RFE if you put together a pitiful adjustment of status paperwork. If you put together a lukewarm adjustment of status green card application with hardly anything in it, hardly any evidence, all you put in there was the marriage certificate, and that's it, you're going to get an RFE where you want to see evidence of your relationship. Miss Betty, and his status says it, application received. Okay, so you're just waiting on the green card, on the visa. That's all. Francois Livingston, did you skip my question, Diego? Francois, let's find out what question is I missed for Francois. Hold on a second. I'm not going to miss any questions, guys. I'm going to help every single one of you. Francois. So if my fiance will need to get a police report from his home country, Abu Dhabi, where he currently lives, how does the police report from Morocco is requested? Well, you got to get the police report from Morocco, and you got to find out what the process is. It's probably online. Google police report, immigration, Morocco. Google that. You know, Karina had to get a police report from Venezuela. She did it online, right in Colombia. But she had to do it on a Friday night at 2 o'clock in the morning when the internet was strong. There was electricity in Venezuela. The office was operating its internet service, and the police department was operating its internet service. You got to remember, Venezuela has turned into a banana republic, tyrannical communist dictatorship. You're lucky if you got water in a hospital. And if Venezuelans are watching me, I apologize if you're offended, but I love you guys. And you need a new government. That's my opinion. Karina's Venezuelan. She agrees with me. So go online, Francois, okay, and look and see how to figure it out. If you can't figure it out, I'll help you. I'll help figure it out for you. But you need to do it first, okay? You got to do this yourself. So you learn. The way I learned was by doing. I learned. Kalkidan Kiashian. I'm in the United States now. Can he buy a ring where he is now and take a picture? Sure. Take a picture. That's fine. You can do that. And take a picture of the receipt, but white out the price. Immigration don't care how much the ring costs. They just want to see a receipt, and they want to see a ring. Linerca Lopez. Hello, Diego. Congratulations. They also approved my K1 visa in Bogotá. Good. Do you know how I can track my... I've already answered that question. Karina's smacked me on the leg saying, you got to go down. Okay, there we go. Starlift McDonald. If USCIS approved MVC, why does the consular at the embassy give 221? Okay. The final say for a K1 visa belongs in the hands of the consular officer at the embassy. The consular officer in the US Embassy, in Bogotá, in Stockholm, Sweden, in London, England, in wherever, is the almighty powerful Oz behind the curtain. You've seen The Wizard of Oz, right? You watched that movie, Judy Garland, and the wizard is behind the curtain. That's the embassy officer. He has or she has the authority to deny your K1 visa if he or she doesn't like the way you're dressed, or if your attitude is bad, or if you disrespect the officer. You've been waiting for 2 years and you're angry and you flip off on him flippantly with words of disrespect. Guess what? Your visa can be blocked. When you go in front of the K1 visa officer at the embassy, dress business casual, be respectful, don't get angry, have a smile on your face, and take nothing personally. The immigration officer wants to see if your relationship is real. He will know, and she will know by your responses to the questions. Like, for example, they asked Karina, have I ever been to prison? Well, they ran my FBI check at the National Visa Center. They know the worst thing I ever did was go 10 miles over the speed limit in Santa Fe, New Mexico in 2001. And that was because right after 9/11. And I was irritated. I got a speeding ticket. The state trooper from Santa Fe, New Mexico wrote me a ticket for $60 or whatever it was because I was going 10 miles over the speed limit in New Mexico. So the immigration officer had my police FBI check up on his computer. And he asked Karina, have I ever been to prison? She's going, no. No, he's never been there. And he went, okay. He knew that already. Okay, he knew it. He knew the worst thing I ever did was get a speeding ticket in Santa Fe. When I was in the Navy, in a U.S. government vehicle, in my Navy senior chief uniform. And a state trooper pulled me over for going 10 miles over, and he was an Army reservist, and he didn't like Navy. Okay, so he didn't give me a break. And I said, okay, whatever, and I paid the ticket. And it's on my police record. It's on my FBI record. That's all they got on me. So the questions by Starlift McDonald. If USCIS approves, NVC approves, why does the consular? The NVC doesn't approve squat. The NVC's got nothing to do with approving visas for K1s. It's USCIS. If USCIS make a mistake, it goes to the NVC. If the NVC don't catch the mistake, it goes to the embassy. Then the embassy officer's got all day to catch the mistakes. If you find something wrong, he'll issue a 221G. Like in our case, we got a 221G because I don't have an Interpol certificate. I'm not. It's like, okay, whatever. We'll process. It's in process right now. We just got to wait it out. The embassy officer is the Wizard of Oz, behind the curtain. Okay, he controls the final say. Jeff Mantalk. Wait a second. Bud Garcia. What if my fiance does not have a shot record? What should we do? Get the vaccinations in her home country. Karina couldn't find her shot record from Venezuela. She couldn't find it. Her mom couldn't find it. And so we got in July and August, I just got the list of vaccines that were required. And she went once a week, twice a week, boom, 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 boom. Cost me $400. It would have cost me $1,500 in the States. Get the vaccinations done. And then Karina went to her medical exam and the doctor said, oh, you need 2 more vaccinations. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And he said, do you want to get them done here or do you want to get them done in the United States? And I'm sitting right here. I know I can speak Spanish. I said, get them done. I said, here, Karina, here's my credit card. Go pay the guy and get these 2 vaccinations. So she was in pain for 2 days. Her arms were sore, but we are fully up to date on vaccinations. So all I got to concentrate on is the adjustment of status for the green card. I don't have to go to CVS pharmacy and say, hey, you guys, do you give vaccinations here? I don't have to take it to the military base, the Air Force base, the Special Ops Command, and say, hey, guys, I'm a TRICARE recipient. I got to get my wife vaccinations. It's all done in Colombia. And she's from Venezuela. Just you got to put forth an effort and get it done. Jeff Mantalk got approved last week. That's good. Waiting for NVC. Okay, give them 2 months. And after 60 days, Jeff, send an inquiry to the NVC. That will automatically update your NOA2 letter from 4 months to eternity until you get the visa interview. Okay? Nick, hi Diego and Karina. Congratulations on your visas. I want to know if the NVC is processing cases faster because I saw some people get a welcome letter in 25 days. Depends on the embassy. The embassy in Senegal is slow. The embassy in Nepal is slow. The embassy in Colombia is slow. Depends on the embassy. Depends on how busy everybody is. The embassy controls the final process, guys. Once you get your case number, the NVC will then be at the mercy of the U.S. Embassy or the consulate. Mumbai is a consulate. Just be patient. It's not easy. It's easy for me to say be patient, but we've been patient. We're almost at, 20 months, Pat, going into 20 months. Just a process, guys. Hang in there. Ahmed Meha, congratulations, Diego. I am asking how to get the data of how many cases is referring each month. They're processing about 9,000 K1 visas a month. A week. They're fast. USCIS is knocking out about 7,000 to 9,000 cases a week now. But then they go to the NVC. Then the NVC is at the mercy of the embassy. So then they're waiting for the embassy to get unbusy. The embassy in Bogotá right now is maxed out. November's filled up. December filled up. You cannot get a visa interview until January now, February in Bogotá. So the secret, Nick, is do not pay attention to other people's visas interviews and their processing time. The visa interview processing time for Bogotá is different from Mumbai, India. It's different from Senegal. It's different from Ethiopia, Nigeria. It's totally every embassy's got its own time frame. Erwin Sanders, good news. Okay, Erwin. Last week, my fiance's visa was finally approved after 2 months of admin processing. There you go. Good. You're on a 221G. 2 months of admin processing. This coming Wednesday, I'm flying to Lima, Peru to pick her up. Very excited. Thank you for your channel. This is your channel, guys. This is your YouTube channel. It ain't Diego's. It's not Karina's. This YouTube channel belongs to you. Okay? You control it. What do you want me to make videos about? What questions do you have? I am data dumping all this information of the last 8 or 9 years of visa processing that I've been through. I'm data dumping it right here on the live streams for you guys. It's your channel, okay? We do this for you, and we're very happy to do it. Angel Tate, how will I get case number? Send an inquiry to the NVC. Email or mailing address. I'm the petitioner. Angel Tate, you send an inquiry to the National Visa Center and say, hey, I need my case number. I need my invoice number. They'll send it to you. Thomas Besant, hello, shipmate. What's going on? January 4th, 2023, NOA 2, October 30th, 2023. I just want to remind everyone in the United States, sign up for postal informed delivery and start pulling your hair out. Your visa will be approved. Yeah, I got postal delivery on my cell phone. I don't put very many applications on my cell phone. Okay, I don't like putting apps on my phone. It's just more tracking for the government to track my phone and to sell me stuff I don't want. But I got USPS informed delivery app on my phone. So when right now I'm in Bogotá, Colombia, when mail goes to my house in Florida, I get an email. This mail is heading to your house tomorrow. And there's a photocopy of the mail of the front of the letter. So I know when my friend who's watching our house in Florida, right now he's watching our house, I know what mail's at my house. So, I know what's going to be on the kitchen table waiting for us when we get there from informed delivery. Let me see. Jay Deep is talking to History Please. Faris Hassan, Faris. Hey, Diego. Urgent question for Abu Dhabi Embassy. Do you have information on how busy they are scheduling interviews. Got my interview all the way February 2024, and I got approved back in September. So you're in September approval. That was at the embassy interview, right? Excuse me, that was with the NOA 2. So it's a 5-month window for Abu Dhabi. That's too long. Faris Hassan, you got an appointment, right? February. You got an appointment, right? U.S. government doesn't care about how long you've been waiting. They don't care. The embassy's busy. If the embassy's busy, it's going to take a long time to get a visa interview. Senegal is busy. Bogotá, busy. Okay? Dubai is busy. Immigration are like, do you want this visa or not? If you want the visa, you're going to have to wait for it. It's a process. You got to remember, this is a benefit. It's not a right. If you marry an American or if you're engaged to an American citizen, the U.S. government is giving you this as a benefit through Congress to come and live here in America. We want you to come here. I don't care what country you live in, as long as you're a good person and you're going to be productive and do something good for America, become an American citizen, and have a happy life in the United States. But it takes a long time. It's a process. You know, it's not people. I stay out of Facebook because Facebook's a joke. Okay, I stay out of there. Everybody in Facebook's having a pity party. Yeah, it's taking too long. It's taking too long. Okay, your decision was to marry an American citizen. Now you got to go through the process. Get over it, and we're going to help you through it. Be patient. Karina went to her K1 visa interview in Bogotá, and she passed everything with flying colors. And then at the end, they said, "Well, we're going to take your passport, but you're on hold until you get the Interpol certificate." And she's like, "What the heck is that?" You know, did she get angry? No. Did she maintain composure? Yes. Did it add a month, probably 3 weeks to our processing? Yes. Did we get worried about it? No. The government says you got to jump 6 feet for this K1 visa. We jump 6 feet. If the government says we got to jump 10 feet for this K1 visa, we jump 10 feet. And we do it with a smile on our face, without complaining. And we get this done. And then you get your beneficiary to America, you get married and live happily ever after, and the whole nightmare will be forgotten. Right? It's a nightmare, but you're gonna wake up from it one day, happy as a clam. Faris, you don't think I can get an interview that's maybe in January? No. February is your scheduled date. Wait and go to your interview in February. Brian Gonzalez, Diego, I keep contacting the Mexican consulate and they say they still have not received my fiance's application. Okay, so it's still at the MVC. I contacted the MVC and they said that it is with the Mexican consulate. No, it's at the MVC. The MVC is telling you a story. The MVC told me the U.S. Embassy in Bogotá, Colombia was closed because of COVID. I live 20 minutes from the embassy. Karina can jump on the bus and walk in the embassy with her security check and say, I can go in there with my U.S. passport and then say, hey, you guys closed for COVID? No. So why is the MVC telling me that? Well, we're not. We're not closed for COVID. We're just busy. We had to shut down for July because we were overwhelmed. So the MVC right now, Brian, is holding on to your K1 visa package until the embassy gets unbusy. Okay? Hang in there, my friend. You can do this. We went through the whole month of July on hold because the embassy would not take any visa applicants for July of 2023. And what made me mad was that the MVC told me a lie. They said that the embassy was closed. So I called up my buddy in Washington, D.C., who's a U.S. senator, and said, hey, I need for you to take a look at this email, buddy. And they said, is the embassy closed because of COVID? No. I was just in Bogotá. I was at the embassy. They're open. So they called. So then the embassy emailed me personally. I got a personal email from the immigration consular officer and said, hey, I'm sorry. We're not closed for COVID. We're just busy. Well, why couldn't you just say that? Why does the embassy make up this stupid story that I know is totally bogus? I'm right here in Bogotá. And I notified the NBC. I said, if you send me another story like that, I'm going to have my senator friend investigate you. Guess what? 2 days later, our visa was in Bogotá. They didn't like that. You got to just trust the process. Just trust the process. Don't trust the NBC. So Brian, your K1 visa is at the NBC on a shelf right now, waiting for the consulate in Ciudad Juarez or in Mexico City to get on busy. Just like it was in Bogotá, Colombia, back in July of this year. History Blitz. Our application loaded like a King James Bible. Diego, his vice is right. Got her Costco card, credit cards, banks, everything. History Blitz. You listen to me, and you got your green card in 3 months, right? High five. Miss Entertainment, Miss Betty, when I became a citizen, okay? I know this question is different. If you have any information, my daughter's birth certificate lost, and I tried to get a passport for her. How can I get a copy if she was born abroad? Automatically got citizenship. So your daughter was born abroad and she's a U.S. citizen, so she got a certificate of naturalization, right? You need to email the embassy in the country where she was born. Let's suppose she was born in Bogotá, Colombia. You would email the U.S. Embassy in Bogotá, Colombia and say, please, I need a copy of my daughter's certificate of citizenship. Okay? Find out the email address to the embassy of that country, and they'll take care of it for you. I've seen that happen. I've seen that before. It doesn't take long. Karina, my technical expert, please. I'm making sure I don't mess this up. I always page down too far, then I miss questions. Then everybody's yelling at me because I missed a question. Let me see. Jawohl. Now, jawohl means wait in Venezuelan. Espera is wait in Spanish, in Colombia. If you're a Colombian, you say espera. If you're a Venezuelan, you say jawohl. I learn new stuff here every day in this beautiful country of Colombia. Let me see here. Francois Livingston, I am confused. If Karina got a police certificate from Venezuela, she did. And a Colombia, she did. What on earth is an Interpol police certificate? Well, because Karina has lived in Colombia for 5 years, longer than 6 months. If Karina had been going back and forth from Venezuela and didn't live in Colombia, she would already have her K1 visa and her passport by now. It already stamped in there. But because she lived in Colombia for 5 years, the embassy wants to do an Interpol check on her, which is the entire South America. They asked her a bunch of questions. Have you ever been to the United States before? No. Have you ever got a visa before? No. Have you been to any other country besides Colombia? No. So she answered the questions, but now immigration is doing an Interpol check to make sure that those questions were correct. If Karina's lived in Venezuela and then she's lived in Colombia for 5 years, maybe she's lived in Peru, maybe she lived in Brazil. Immigration don't know. They trust her word, but they want evidence. So they do an Interpol check on her. They'll run her passport through the South American Interpol, whatever it is, Central South America, and see if her passport pops up as living in any other country. It's not going to, because she's living in Colombia. So once that's done, her visa is going to get put in her passport. We're good. We're not worried about it. It's just another brick wall to climb over, another hoop to jump through, and that's the process. But we don't get upset. We follow the process. Diego, I received a call from the embassy. They said that the consul officer requested to change my interview date from tomorrow to Wednesday. Is it normal? Sure, it's normal. The embassy's busy. Okay? The embassy officer got the flu. What is this, Colombia? Maybe he got the same flu I got. Maybe he's in bed sick with what I got. So he had to take a day off. Don't worry about it. LB, Felicidad, Diego, and Karina, thanks for all of your helpful videos. No problem, de nada. LB, okay, History Blitz is talking to somebody. Let me see here. Now, Janiela James is talking to JD. Francois Livingston, you're funny, Diego. You gotta be funny. You can't be moping around having a pity party during your K1 visa process. You gotta stay focused. You gotta stay positive. You gotta stay happy because you're gonna eventually get married to the person you love, who is a foreign national. I too got a speeding ticket over 10 years ago on my way to work. My only crime in life. Hey, Frank, welcome to the speeding ticket club. You know, I'm pretty sure that if I had been in the Army and not in the Navy, when I got pulled over by that Army Reservist state trooper in New Mexico, he would have given me a warning. But because I'm sitting in my Navy uniform, here was an opportunity for him to stick one to the Navy. And it was in 2001. And it was right after 9/11. And I was just not in a good frame of mood. Janiela's talking. Bud Garcia, how is the embassy in Thailand? Do you know if they are backed up? They're backed up. Do you know how fast they are going? It's like 2 to 4 months, Bud. It's a lot. It's 2 to 4 months. Okay. Thailand's busy. There are lots of beautiful women in Thailand, and lots of Americans are getting married to them. Bud Garcia, sorry for asking so many questions, but this is your channel. This belongs to you. You can ask me questions and questions and questions. Like where's Dina? Dina normally asks me 300 questions, and I give her 300 answers, and she'll give me another 300 same questions because she's stressed out doing this process. She doesn't understand it, and I'm trying to help her through it. Dina's beneficiary lives in Iraq, and the embassy is closed in Baghdad. She didn't know that. I told her it's closed. We got her visa shifted from Baghdad to Dubai. Now she's happy, but she doesn't understand the process. So I'm trying to help her through it. But I got to repeat myself a million times. But that's okay. I'm not worried about it. Let me see. Zoila Molina, felicidades. Thank you, Zoila.
Yes.
And let me see. We got a pop-up here. Monjo Corrala. Hi, Diego. My name is Monjo, and I'm from India. We love India. I can make a great Indian curry. Not as good as you, probably, but India, we love the food there. My fiance is an American citizen. Well, we hope so. You got to be a U.S. citizen to qualify for this benefit. NOA 1 was received October 14th. Okay. NOA 2, September 29th. Congratulations. So now October, November, December. So by middle of December, you should get your case number from the NVC. And then you wait for your in transit. Then you wait for your ready. Then you wait for your packet 3, packet 4 email. Then you pay the visa fee. Fill out the DS-160. Schedule the interview. And come to America and start your life. Manjo. She received an email from the embassy October 24th stating that the petition is going to the consulate in Mumbai. There you go. Now we are both lost on what we are supposed to do next. I just went through it. Well, I just went over it with you. I just explained it to you. When it gets to Mumbai, okay, when they're not busy, you're going to get a ready status. Then you're going to wait for the packet 3, packet 4 email. And that's going to tell you how to schedule this visa interview. Okay? It's not hard, guys. It's just slow. It's slow process. Francois, it seems like it's going to take lots of waiting. You're right. Waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting from the time an individual gets NOA 2 till the interview. That's right. Give yourself 20 months. 20 months, NOA1 visa in hand, average, okay, for a K1. Let me see here. Miss Entertainment, but I wasn't a citizen when she was born. We came by DV lottery to USA when she was 5 years, and really hard to get birth certificate from back home where we are from. You got to email the embassy. Congratulations on your DV lottery, by the way. We're glad you got that, and we're glad you were able to make a life in the United States of America from the DV lottery. That's excellent. But you have to email that embassy and ask them for the certificate of citizenship, whatever country it is. If you have a hard time doing that, have your senator or your congressman send the email. I need my daughter's certificate of citizenship. Janiela James. Hold on a second. Okay, I messed up. Karina's yelling at me. Okay. Momo Ko. I got ready status since September 27th of this year, but I haven't been contacted by the embassy in Monrovia, Liberia. No, they're busy. Liberia is on Central Africa, west coast of Africa Central, and they're busy with processing visas. Just be patient. Erwin Sanders, your senator friend's story is similar to mine. 60 days after no approval, I emailed my local congressman, and 2 days later, the embassy approved the visa. It works, but you don't want to abuse that system. You know, I was getting mad. I would never once would. I got friends in D.C. like you wouldn't believe. You would not believe the friends that I have in Washington, D.C. And I never used their power to help me with anything. I don't abuse my friendship with them that way. But when the NBC sends me a letter and tells me the U.S. Embassy in Bogotá is closed because of COVID, and I know that is a blatant lie, that requires an investigation. And I told NBC, if you want senators crawling up your rear end, right, like starting tomorrow, you best fix this story that you're telling people, because it wasn't just to me, it was to lots of people in Bogotá. And then lo and behold, the crazy email stopped. And my visa was in Bogotá, Colombia. And people in Bogotá were getting their visas scheduled. So not only did I fix it for Karina, I fixed it probably for about another 20, 30 people. And that was, it's unfortunate that our government, not just the US government, it's governments are everywhere. They suck. They create more problems for people than the people, right? Okay. Leslie, don't get me started. Camille 1. Hi, Diego and Karina. Good morning from Phnom Penh. Hello. Waiting for my fiancé interview on Friday. You got this. You've got this. Moss KND is talking to Mom Call, Bud Garcia. This is like me. I'm so stressed out. Why? I'm lost on what I need to do next. I got my NOA2 on the October 20th. Bud Garcia. Now you wait 60 days, 90 days for your NVC welcome letter. In Colombia, it's the K1 FTP email. Okay? That's all you're waiting for. You guys were watching the channel, 6 months ago? You guys were watching me in Florida 4 months ago. I got my NVC case number, right? Remember? People say, what do you do now? I said, I kick back. I'm relaxed and wait for my K1 FTP. I got it after 119 days, after I stuck my foot up their Kaiser path. Let me see. Come on, Karina, get me through this. Mossis KND. Usually after your case is ready, if it's the K1 visa and you have your case number scheduled, you interview and collect the required documents. You don't do anything until you get your packet 3, packet 4 email. You got to wait for the embassy to be ready for you guys, okay? Even if though it says ready, they're not ready. They're almost ready. Rohit Powell. Hi, both looking cute together. Yo! Do you like this furry jacket? Do you like this? I went hunting. I went out hunting in the woods out here in Choachee, and I I found this bear, and I hunted the bear, and I made a jacket out of her for the bear for Karina. I'm just telling you, I'm joking, guys. I didn't really do that. But it's cold up here in the mountains. It's cold. There's no AC here. There's no heat. There's none of that benefit of Florida. Rohit Patel. I got my NOA 1 August 2023. When to accept NOA 2. How busy is the base? Okay, so August 2023 is your NOA 1. So you should get your NOA 2 June of 2024. And then I can tell you how busy the embassy is going to be in the summer of 2024 in Mumbai. I can't read that far in the future. Let me see. Rohit Patel, come together back in the States. Miss Betty, we have been in the United States for 12 years. Okay, but when I try to apply for a passport, they need a birth certificate. I sent my citizenship in full custody of her. No, you got to have your child's birth certificate, her certificate of naturalization, her certificate of United States citizenship. You got to email the embassy in the country where you came from and ask for it. They got it in their computer. They keep it forever in their computer. Miss Betty, do you hear me? Which country? Email the embassy. I need my child's certificate of U.S. citizenship for immigration. This is her social security number. This is her date of birth. This is her full name. Identify your daughter completely so they can find it. Then they will email it to you. Khmer 1, please remind me, what do I need to bring for the interview? I made a video about it, Khmer 1. I made a video. Look for the video, how to assemble documents for the U.S. Embassy interview. Watch that video. I took a lot of time making that video, so that will answer your question. Rohit Patel, where is your hat? Did you leave it back in Florida? All my Colombian hats that Karina purchased for me are in Florida. This is my Navy retired hat. But Karina bought me a hat, a sombrero in Cartagena. Okay, and she's a good negotiator. I stood there and watched her negotiate from $5 to $3.46. And then she bought the other hat for me in Bogotá. But they're in Florida. I want to travel light. When we fly back to the United States, we're going to fly Avianca, Bogotá to Miami. Then we're traveling light, guys. We're giving stuff away. We gave the Christmas tree away to her brother. Her brother and his wife, her brother's from Venezuela. Is Maria Venezolana? So Karina's brother and his Venezuelan wife live here in Bogotá. We gave him the Christmas tree for the kids. Let me see. Miss Betty, I am from Eritrea, but my interview was in Nairobi, Kenya. Which country, Miss Betty, which country gave your child U.S. citizenship? Which country? Eritrea or Nairobi? Which one? My recommendation is you send an email to both embassies, Eritrea and Nairobi, Kenya, and see which one pops up with the document. Bud Garcia, so the MVC is not as long as the USCIS. No. MVC is 3 months max. For us, it was 119 days. But that's because the embassy in Bogotá was closed for July because of COVID, which was just a big story coming out of the NBC. And I shut that down with just one email. And they went hiding under their table looking for recovery. Francois, good night, Diego. Francois, good night, Diego and Karina. Got to get up at 3:45 tomorrow for work. Okay, ooh, man. You two are the best and so fortunate to have stumbled on this channel last year. We're going to get you your visa, Francois. You qualified for it. We're going to help you get it. Miss Betty, no here in USA became a citizen. Okay. If you and your family became U.S. citizens in the United States of America, then you need to get, do you have your naturalization certificates? Didn't you have to give birth certificate to get the naturalization certificate? It's a good question, right? How did you get citizenship? You had to produce a birth certificate. Where is it? Okay, guys, Karina is hungry. I'm hungry. She's gonna get changed into some relaxing clothes, and we're gonna eat. Karina's gonna make chicken, pollo, chicken, and papas fritas. I got French fries and fried chicken and a beautiful Venezuelan salad. And Karina wants to make it, and I'm holding her up. And Jewel gets the last word. Hi, Diego and Karina. Nice to see you both, and congrats to your visa approval. Thank you. My fiance finally got a medical test done yesterday. The next step is the visa interview on the November 28th. Miss Betty, contact USCIS, and if you've lost your naturalization certificates, get new ones, get new copies, and that will suffice for U.S. citizenship. You don't need the birth certificate. If you got your naturalization certificates, that qualifies as U.S. citizenship. And with that said, we're out of here, guys. And thank you for the super chats. As soon as I get better, as soon as this Bogotá crud is out of my body, we're going to eat some steak dinners in central Bogotá.